and welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Laura Cotter.
And I'm Sky Richard.
I will start off by saying shout out North Carolina, who is like our highest listened to state for the past 4 weeks.
Oh.
So, hey, North Carolina, what's up? How much do you hate South Carolina?
Ooh, let's start a rivalry. South Carolina, you gonna take that? Gonna one up with North Carolina?
Our second state is Texas. I know not everybody in Texas is Republican, but we're doing real good in some of the red states, and I'm a little confused by it.
Is it like the blue bubbles in the red states?
I think that's probably what it is. Or it's, those diehard Republican Sabrina fans who will listen to our liberal nonsense just for the good appreciation of Sabrina. And you know what? I salute you. Sky literally saluted. It's always fun when we do visual gags on a podcast.
I mean, I take snippets sometimes from the recording.
Last episode, we talked about nutrageous and how I was going to find them. I was like looking on the grocery app to see if I could just get it at the store, and it wasn't at the store. So then I was like Google searching, like, is it at Walmart? And then I was like, you know what? DoorDash. I'm going to go on DoorDash and see who has it. And it was late at that point, and nobody would deliver them deliver a nutrageous to me at 11 p.m. But I was like, okay, I know that this one gas station has it, and there's one that's not going to be too far from where I'm going to be tomorrow. So I'm going to swing by this gas station. And so I go, and it's the smallest convenience store I've ever been in. It is the size of this room that I'm in right now.
Oh, wow.
With the shelves and the clerk's counter on. It's literally one shelf in the middle and then stuff on the sides of the little box that you're in. Found it, grabbed 2 just in case Guy couldn't find theirs, and like patting myself on the back. I'm like, I did it. I did such a good job. I took care of something for the podcast, and it's well ahead of when we're going to need it. And I come home and I put the candy bar on my desk and I forget about it. And then a few days later, I'm doing something on my desk and I look over and I'm like, that doesn't say nutrageous. It says outrageous.
So crazy. They have 2 products so similar in name.
And very similar in ingredients. So a Reese's Outrageous is a nutrageous that replaces the peanuts with Reese's peanut pieces. And I got us a king size because that's all, because obviously I didn't read closely what I was grabbing. And I just went up to the cashier and I put my outrageouses on the counter, and he was just like, this is all for you. I'm like, this is all I came here for.
My one goal.
But then I did find an outrageous. I think I found it at Harmon's. That's where I found it at. Yeah. Which was literally closer to me than this gas station I went to.
Jill was going to the grocery store and asked what I needed. And I was like, okay, I need this, but not the outrageous because it happened to you. I like sent a photo. I was like, it must be like this. It cannot say outrageous. Smiths didn't have it, but then she went to Macy's the next day and was like, oh, here you go. It's like, oh, okay.
Planters Peanuts has not responded to any of my many, many threads asking them to please sponsor us.
They probably blocked you by now.
Don't think so, because I can still see their threads. I am gaining traction of other people liking the comments that I'm leaving underneath their posts, though. So slowly but surely, I figured about 4 years I'll have gained enough traction.
Right as we're finishing.
Right as we're ending, we're just going to get one box of the tiny little like snack size Planters Peanuts snack mix in the mail. And that's it.
Yep.
What's happening in your life, Sky?
I am irate, Laura.
Oh no.
Have you
Why?
seen the new Google icons when you go to the Google 9 Square?
I did notice that the drive looked weird.
Look at Sheets.
Okay, let me look.
Look at any of them.
I feel like my Sheets looks normal. Maybe? There's something called Vids now, which I don't think I'm ever going to click on that.
It's like an AI video maker.
My account looks normal. Let me go to the podcast account. Ew!
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why are we going back to like 2000s era, like fading icon colors?
It's because Apple's been doing like that liquid glass look, and now.
No.
Yeah, it's gross. I'm mad. And now like all my, I'm not going to update it out of spite, but like all my employee orientation trainings, I've built in Litmos with like detailed screenshots because sometimes you have to walk people by the hand. Logos look completely different, and some people are going to get confused, and I can't handle it.
What looks really gross is that they didn't change all of them.
Yeah.
The Google search is still your generic G. Like, it's not that soft rounded like everything else. Photos is still normal.
Gemini didn't really change.
The shopping one is still normal. That's almost worse than the change is when they like half-ass the change. They don't just change everything so it's all cohesive.
Yeah, it's really like the full suite, G Suite that just changed, and I hate it.
That's gross. I don't like that. Let's please not go backwards in our icon development.
We're already going backwards in so many ways in the world, like Google.
It's 2006 all over again. Everything is 2006. Oh, well, now I'm upset that you showed that to me.
You know, I cannot suffer alone. I cannot suffer in a vacuum.
Is it going to change that on our phones too? Like, is Gmail going to look different on my phone? It looks fine now, but...
There is a new Android update, actually, in the works.
Because then it's not going to, like, now it looks okay because it's sitting side by side with my Microsoft apps. Like, I have my Outlook and I have my Gmail for personal and work. And they look fine together now because they're the same sort of, like, square, very blocky color change thing. So, that's going to be so annoying. Well, then we have to wait 3 days for somebody to send out, like, a patch that's like, if you hate it, here's a thing that you can download that sends you back to the old icons or something.
Yes, someone will write that script.
Someone will do something for us. I did have one other thing. We are making stickers, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Of things from the podcast. I mocked up designs for 2 of them. One is Sword Facts the Sky. Because I was like, besides Sabrina, that's like the most talked about thing we have. And then the other one was the Mr. Kraft Needs Milk. And now I'm obligated to make that one because Curtis Anderson messaged us and said I need one. So now I have no choice. I've started down this path. I am fully entrenched in it. We have to do stickers.
I think with our powers combined and my access to like the Adobe suite, we could probably make like a cute little cauldron and like the smoke from it says aliens above it or something for like a little aliens one.
I still need to Photoshop your face on the aliens dude's hair.
Man, I had crazy hair the other day and I was like, if I had like a brown tweed suit coat, I would just recreate this right now. So maybe I need to go to Savers.
Well, get on it, Sky. Yeah, so we're thinking about aliens. We're thinking about ones with our cats that say stay magical. I want to make one that says don't toy with me, you saucy minx, and it has a tassel next to it.
It would be fun to make like a no kings except Salem.
Yes, we could do that. So if you have ideas for stickers, and then if we actually make it, we'll send you the sticker for giving us the idea. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe that's what we'll do. I don't know how we'll sell them. We could do a Redbubble. I was like, or we just print them ourselves and have people Venmo us money. Because I'm not setting up a storefront. We're not that fancy.
No.
And I don't want to do Etsy. So alternatively, if anybody knows where we could sell our stickers, that is low barrier to entry.
Stickers can be made pretty cheaply. So with the economy, we can keep them cheap for other people.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody playing that buying expensive things right now game.
That's what I was like, if we just had people Venmo us, then we could just be like, cool, we'll just eat the like stamps are now like 70 cents or whatever. So we'll just eat the 70 cents and send you the sticker. I also bought so many Forever stamps 2 years ago. So my stamps are actually worth like 60 cents.
Ooh.
I got so many 2 Christmases ago.
Are they Christmas themed?
Because I was standing in line and I'm like, I'm not doing this again. All right. Well, we covered North Carolina. We covered Reese's products. We covered the Google Suite. We covered stickers. I think that's a good amount of pre-show chatter. Anything else?
No, this episode's probably going to be so long.
It's going to be so long. And I don't know how that's going to go. We'll find out. We are on season 3, episode 19. We are getting to the end of season 3. This is titled The Big Sleep. Our TV guide description. When Sabrina accidentally disturbs her Aunt Dorma, who sleeps for centuries at a time. That's not true, right?
10 years.
Well, we're already off to a great start, TV guide. When Sabrina accidentally disturbs her Aunt Dorma, who sleeps for centuries at a time, Aunt Dorma fills the house with magical poppies, which cause members of the Spellman family to fall asleep for eternity, and a distraught Sabrina must find a way to reconcile with Aunt Dorma. That's also not her goal.
There's no reconciliation.
Okay, so a half a point for detail, but like -2 points for incorrect facts. The streaming is a vengeful aunt uses magic poppies to put the Spellman household to sleep, which I feel like is an oversimplification, but it's streaming and they are because they're one sentence. So it originally aired probably March 12th, 1999, although Hulu says May 21st.
Paramount Plus is still on the right side of history in this regard.
Yeah. Our director, Kenneth R. Coach. Not Gary Halverson.
Which it sounds familiar. Has he, well, obviously we've had Kenneth R. Coach, but this season, has he just been writing or is he like that other director we just forgot because we've had Gary so much?
Let me check. Nope, he's also directed. He directed And the Sabrina Goes To, I think Good Will Haunting, Sabrina Claus, Sabrina's Choice, I think Christmas Amnesia. Yeah, it's basically been him and Gary. I will say this is Gary's last season as a director.
Oh.
And now that we've dipped our toe in the interview pool, I have some like goals out there. Gary Halverson is 1, Costume Lady is 2, Michelle is 3. Those are like my next ones. I've already started like looking them on social media. Michelle does have social media, but she hasn't posted in like 3 years. So I don't think she's active on it. There are a lot of Gary Halversons out there on Instagram. I don't know which one is him. And I haven't been able to find the Costume Lady, but I think we might have a pretty decent chance at someone who's leaving at the end of this season. I'm not going to tell you who it is because I don't want to spoil it. We'll see. Our writer is Sheldon Bull, who is also a returning writer. Our guest stars.
Let's have some guest stars in here.
Guest stars. Our guest stars are Sean Lawton as the policeman from The Callback, which is his only other credit, but he also has a credit for the director of Chocolates, and that's it for him. Roz Witt as the woman from Corinna, Tank Girl, and Desperate Housewives. Hap Lawrence as the shepherd. He has some interesting credits. He's played 2 presidents. So in Oppenheimer, he played Lyndon Johnson. And in George Bush Goes to Heaven, he played George Bush Sr.
What a thing to be known for.
What a thing. Also, I want to watch this George Bush Goes to Heaven so much.
Yeah, never heard of it. Add it to the list.
I know we put things on the list and they just go there to die, but I actually would watch this one.
I feel like what I need to do the next time I get sick is just actually utilize this movie list to like, especially in like a cold medicine high haze, like watching some of these titles.
Okay, either when you get sick or when I get a kidney stone again and I'm on pain meds.
We can do like a video diary recap of our experience.
The next guest star is Timothy Everett Moore as Sheldon from Even Stevens, An American Rhapsody, and Falling Like This. And lastly, we have Rosalind Ayers as the voice of Aunt Dorma, obviously, not the sheep. She was in Titanic, a whole bunch of voices for Star Wars stuff, like a lot of stuff I didn't even know existed. And then I also included the film Black Beauty because I have a 5th grade piano student who came to lessons one time, and I always just ask them, like, how was your day? How's your week going? And she informed me, last night we watched this film from the 1900s called Black Beauty. And I died so much inside.
Back in those 1900s.
Oh my gosh, I just realized I didn't do the question of the week.
Oh.
We do that before. Curtis has thrown us off our game. We can't do interviews anymore, apparently. I forgot how regular podcast works. I just want to talk now.
Forget our structure. Forget recapping the episode.
Well, it's also partially because I forgot that I do the question and I didn't have one. And then Sky gave me one 5 seconds before we started recording, which I should have remembered it because it was 5 seconds before we started recording.
All my hard work gone.
All right. So those were our credits. Question. Have you ever had food poisoning?
I have. It was August 2014, LaGuardia Airport.
Oh.
I'm about to return.
Oh no.
From a summer in Connecticut/New York. And I'm hungry, so I grab a yogurt parfait.
Oh no.
Had a layover in North Carolina. By the time I hit North Carolina, it was terrible. It's the only time I've had like confirmed food poisoning, and it's how I have found out that I am actually allergic to loperamide.
Oh, okay.
Which is antidiarrheals. So
good.
I've had surgery from here on out. They always have to put like loperamide wristband on and like go over it with me. So like my most recent eyelid surgery, like talking about, I was like, yeah, I really hope you don't have to give me loperamide for this surgery. Like,
I can't imagine what circumstances would require that, but okay.
Yeah, always get my fun little loperamide bracelet.
Wow. That is horrific. I am so sorry.
It took me, I think it was 2022 when I finally flew out of LaGuardia again. Like I would avoid it like the plague.
Have you seen the John Mulaney musical sketch on SNL about LaGuardia?
Mm-mm.
Don't watch it now, but I'm going to send it to you so you can watch it afterwards because it's about airport sushi at LaGuardia.
Oh gosh. What's your story?
So October 2019, I have been part of the Science Teaching Association in Utah for like 2 years at this point. I've been on the board, and the National Science Teaching Association is coming out for one of their big regional conferences, and they've chosen Salt Lake City. So as the state organization, we're helping organize it. And I was put in charge of organizing all of the volunteers for this thing. And that was a huge undertaking, especially for somebody who had never done anything like that before. And so we were at the Salt Palace Convention Center for like 4 days for this thing set up, and then 3 days of running it. Every single day I was there, because I had to be there so early, I was grabbing breakfast there, and it was October. So I was having a hot chocolate every single morning. One morning, that hot chocolate tasted a little weird. And I was so busy and I was running so fast that I was like, whatever, I'm just still going to drink it. And I think because I think the conference was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so I'd been there Wednesday, Thursday, and this was now Friday. And so I'm sitting at the volunteer booth, and it's like halfway through the day, I think we're afternoon. And all of a sudden I just like start feeling so sick. And I like run to the bathroom. It happens. The food poisoning happens. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to go home. And it was when I was at the apartment down in Sandy. So it was like a 30-minute drive. And so I had to wait until the intervals of like throwing up were like greater than at least 30 minutes so I could time it exactly to get home. I was like watching my watch, and like I had to like text everybody, and I was like, I can't watch the volunteers. Somebody else needs to do it. Here's where all my documents are. Like as I'm like in the bathroom stall trying to explain what's happening. I finally get home. I'm dying for the next several hours and just like laying on the floor of my bathroom trying to hold it together.
Oh no.
And the next morning, that Saturday, was supposed to be my presentation that I had worked on. And I was supposed to get face-to-face time with the president of NSTA.
No.
In a special reception where I was going to be thanked for my work of like overseeing the volunteers. And I was just like, okay, maybe I'll feel better. Maybe I'll feel better. And it's like midnight. And I had to text my co-presenter, and I was like, Wendy, I'm not coming in. This is not going to happen. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I told her all about it. And she was like, no, it's fine. It's so chill. Like, I now know what I missed out on, and it's fine. But I have badmouthed the Salt Palace's food to everybody at every possible occasion ever since then. And my mom occasionally has to go there for local government stuff. And she also got food poisoning from the Salt Palace. Do not eat the food at Salt Palace Convention Center when you come for like FanX or whatever. Don't do it.
That's good to know. Many years
gambling with
later.
you, especially don't touch anything dairy related.
many conventions later, finally hearing this story.
What's funny is now my position, the government I work for, is the government that oversees the Salt Palace.
Oh, wow.
Well, we did things super backwards. We already did the guest stars.
Trivia
Time! Trivia from the Sabrina Wiki is The Big Sleep is also the title of a novel by Raymond Chandler.
Yeah, and apparently this novel has made 2 different lists of the best 100 books ever. It made Le Mans 100 Books of the Century in 1999. In 2005, it made Time Magazine's list of 100 best novels. I have never heard of this book whatsoever. So it is a 1939 hard-boiled crime novel by American...
Ooh, I love things that are called hard-boiled crime. Sold.
It's by American-British writer Raymond Chandler, the first to feature the detective Philip Marlowe. It has been adapted for film twice, in 1946 and again in 1978. The story is set in Los Angeles. The story is noted for its complexity, with characters double-crossing one another and secrets being exposed throughout the narrative. The title is a euphemism for death. The final pages of the book refer to a rumination about sleeping the big sleep.
It is available at the county library on Libby, so I am downloading it right now because the last book I was in the middle of that I didn't want to feel like reading got returned early. Now I have to wait 6 more weeks before I can borrow it again.
Rude.
Cool. I'm excited. We'll read, and I will try to remember to report back. We'll see.
Jinx.
We've done this too long.
Pack it up.
I love how now that we're getting to the point where we've like almost surpassed every other Sabrina podcast, we're like, well, that's enough.
We had a good run.
It's fine. We'll do like season 4, episode 2 and be like, that's good. The next ones can have it from here. One day we'll get through season 7.
Pass on the baton.
All right. What were your overall thoughts on this episode, Sky?
1. Did Melissa get a haircut? It looks like she got a haircut in the opening scene. It's a little shorter, it feels like.
Let me see if I can find a picture.
Well, you find a picture. I really liked the Salem being at war with a neighbor. That was a fun little plot line there. It was an enjoyable episode. Like, not much to I have some gripes. I think
Okay.
there's similar gripes with you that we'll bring
Okay.
up. It was fun. A lot of references, so this episode's going to be long because so many references, but love it. It's a solid episode.
Okay, I'm comparing her hair from the last episode. Ooh, it does look a little bit shorter, but I can't tell if that's because last episode it was flipped out and this episode it's flipped under. I think it might be flipped under. In another shot, it looks like it's the same length.
No, let me have this.
Or I don't know, maybe they filmed over multiple days. So maybe halfway through the episode, she went off and got a haircut. I actually thought the Salem storyline was kind of weak.
No.
And I didn't love it. It was fine and it was funny because it's Salem, but it felt like so disconnected from everything else that was happening, which I know a lot of the times the storyline is, but it just felt weird to be like, there's a house full of poppies and Salem's just like water balloons.
I mean, I think it's in character to be like, yeah, I have a chance to wage war. But no, that's valid. I would honestly separate the two. Like, give me an episode of Salem just destroying the neighbor.
And maybe that's my issue because the A storyline was so strong and so big that they had to do something smaller for Salem. And I feel like that, because we've had ones before where he's like, where they've like talked about going to war with neighbors. And I feel like that one, it should have been bigger.
Yeah.
It felt shoehorned into this episode. It felt like something that they had just come up with at one point, like Salem like has a war against the neighbors. And they were just like, oh, we don't have a plot for Salem. Let's just throw that idea in here. It didn't feel organic. I really like the A storyline. It's fun. It's Melissa acting crazy, which is always a good time for me. Our cold open. Sabrina brings a box of old photos down from the attic, pointing out one of an old relative.
Salem says, photos, I was framed, I tell you. How was I supposed to know she was married? So my question then is, how long has Salem been around the Spellmans? Obviously, Hilda joined up in the Conquer the World takeover, but it seems like it's a longer connection than the 70s.
So I think I have like a two-pronged theory on this one. One is that I don't think there's I just don't think there's like a whole ton of witches out there. Like I think it's a pretty small world for being another realm. I think most people know of other people. And from what we know, the Spellman family is a very large with a lot of branches to it. So I think it's not a small probability that Salem at one point was caught hooking up with a Spellman relative. I think it's maybe not super far outside the realm of possibility, especially like they've been around for so long. They've lived for hundreds of years. I think it's highly possible. Whether or not he knew Hilda particularly well, I assume there has to be some time to gain, well, it is Hilda, so maybe not as much time needed to gain her trust. There had to be some buildup. I'm assuming it wasn't just take over the world, Hilda signs up, and there we go. Sabrina zaps the woman out of the photo and asks her about the family secret. The woman tells her about how Uncle Rupert's wife was having an affair with his brother while he was in prison. There was also an explosion. Sabrina is shocked that the Spellmans aren't as boring as she thought. Zelda and Hilda come down and greet Sabrina and the strange woman.
Zelda pulls Sabrina aside and says, Dear, I've told you, when they come to the door, just take the pamphlet and smile. Don't let them in.
Hilda then excitedly says Sabrina found the stuff she bought at a flea market, and Sabrina realizes the woman is a stranger.
Salem then says, but she doesn't have to be. And then I like this note from the transcript of, he turns on his sexiest voice. After all, black is his color. Hello.
And then the woman screams and runs away. Our outfit intro is a belly dancer, and she says, tonight's show is full of belly laughs.
So this our first time with the belly dancer? Or we had something similar?
I think we may have had a genie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we had a tap costume in Witch Trash that looked genie-ish. Sabrina is struggling to carry a large stack of books down the school hallway when Harvey steps in to help. He's worried her head is going to explode from studying so much for the Brain Busters competition. In other words, he's afraid she's going to bust her brain.
Oh.
I thought of that while I was cleaning up from dinner.
So proud of you.
So proud of me. But she doesn't want to look foolish in front of the whole school. Valerie joins them in her cheerleader outfit, trying to get them to take her homemade cheese puffs. And I put, Sky eats it, question mark?
These cheese puffs look like cream puffs. I like cream puffs.
Those are very obviously cream puffs.
Are you gonna make me cheese puffs? Because I cannot do a pat a choux, which is what you need to make a puff, right?
Not the ones I found.
Okay.
But I did search cheese puff recipes, and I found cheese puffs from Spend with Pennies that has 85 5-star ratings, which I feel like is good. And I don't think you need a pat a choux for them. Oh, maybe you do. Yeah.
You're the baker, so if you make me cheese puffs, I will try it.
Oh, you're making these from scratch. Oh, boy. You know what? We will try it. We'll give it a good go. No one is buying Valerie's gross contribution to the cheerleader bake sale. Harvey smells one and puts it back. Sabrina grabs the tray and starts selling them to passing by students as an acne cure. Okay, that's a side of Sabrina's personality we haven't seen before, but all right. Zelda hauls in a trash can flattened by their neighbor, Mr. Tobias.
Salem says, "That was my favorite trash can. You can't buy memories like that."
She zaps it back into shape and vows not to take his behavior anymore. Salem encourages violence.
Salem's like, "Oh, it wasn't that trash can once it's restored." Not the trash can I thought.
How many trash cans do they have is the question.
Let's destroy everything that's dear to him. Let's indoctrinate him into the Cathedral of Agony.
That's a really good line. I don't know how to make a sticker out of that one, but
yeah, I wish I could do Nick's inflections, but it's a great one.
Maybe one day we'll buy a cameo from him and we'll just make him say all the lines from the show that we like. Zelda opts to write a stern letter instead.
Salem says, "You're a regular Mad Max, aren't you?"
Oh, you're not going to tell us who Mad Max is?
I assume people would know who Mad Max is.
Okay, we have not assumed people know a lot of people that they should know. We've definitely over-explained.
But also, like, this Mad Max reference doesn't necessarily make sense, because Max tends to go into a thing, he wants to avoid stuff, but gets pulled into this, like, political cause to help someone, begrudgingly helps them, and then disappears into the Australian wasteland dystopic atmosphere. There's Mad Max, people, for y'all in a nutshell.
Good job.
Zelda being a real Mad Max?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, really.
For some reason, Zelda goes outside to the porch to write her letter and almost gets run over by Hilda on a forklift. She got it at a yard sale for 75 cents. How much is 75 cents in 1999 worth today, Sky?
$2.
$1.49, according to the Federal Reserve of Minnesota.
I hate this game.
Zelda is angry that Hilda keeps bringing junk home from yard sales and flea markets, but this does explain the state of their closet, attic, and basement.
Hilda says, "Junk, you're the one who bought Sabrina those encyclopedias."
Those are the encyclopedias she needs to study for the Brainbusters competition.
I love an encyclopedia.
Zelda says Hilda can't keep it unless she proves she can actually use it. Sabrina is still hawking the cheese puffs at the practice for the Brainbusters competition. And this is where I got angry, because where is Gordie? This is a perfect episode for Gordie, and we didn't see him. And Curtis would have been fantastic at pretending to pass out from some bad cheese.
Would have been really good. Also, Mr. Poole would love leading this team.
Oh, it's just so annoying that we have established nerdy characters. We have built storylines around them in world, and we have an episode where we need nerdy characters, and I'm like, you know who we're not going to use? Gordie. We're going to have a phone call with him entirely off screen, and you never hear his voice. But we're not going to involve Gordie in this. I will continue part 2 of my rant when we get there, because I have part 2.
To be continued.
Mr. Kraft joins and starts quizzing them.
The Dordogne River meets the sea at which port city in France? Answer, Bordeaux. The cluster of stars in the constellation Orion? Answer, Seven Sisters. And then define Newton's theory of gravitational force. At which point a student clutches his stomach and keels over sideways, and Mr. Kraft says, "Yes, that's what it is, but I need it in words."
Quickly, the other students who ate the cheese puffs develop food poisoning and are taking out on gurneys. This is also where I had an issue, because I was like, food poisoning doesn't set on that quickly. Food poisoning usually develops between 2 and 48 hours after eating bad food, although it can be up to 3 days. Given the quick onset, it's probably that it's Staphylococcus aureus that they got, because that can kick in within 30 minutes. But also, if that is what it is, they'll be fine after 24 hours, not a week. And we establish there's like 2 days at least before Saturday. I think there's like this day, one more full day, and then there's Saturday. So they would have been fine in time for the competition. Also, since it's Staph aureus, Valerie definitely did not wash her hands before making those puffs because it usually lives on skin. And one of the most typical contaminated foods for this strain is a cream-filled pastry. So at least that was on brand.
There's a line while they're going out on stretchers, I think, about Valerie not meaning to give them kidney failure. And that's how I learned that extreme food poisoning could cause kidney failure. Today I learned.
You like dehydration will all sorts of screw you up. Yeah.
Please wash your hands before making the cheese puffs.
I'm just gonna lick and rub it in. I mean, based on the pictures from Spend with Pennies, my hands should not be anywhere near them. So Mr. Kraft blames Sabrina for destroying the Brainbusters team.
It's food poisoning, or should I say puff poisoning?
I loved his delivery on that one. Puff poisoning.
They're all going to be laid up for at least a week thanks to you and your accomplice, Valerie Sweeney Todd Burkhead. I took slight offense with that because Mrs. Lovett would be more appropriate than Sweeney in that name calling.
Do we think Mr. Kraft has actually seen Sweeney Todd, though?
Fun little Sweeney Todd trivia is it started out as a series in the Penny Dreadfuls, 1846 to 1847. Very morbid, and it seems like Mr. Kraft would enjoy reading that kind of stuff. Opera musical? Nah, but Penny Dreadful stories?
Yeah, sure.
Totally.
Sabrina knew how important this competition was to his career, and she was trying to sabotage him. He tells her she needs another team ready by Saturday, or else she's going to see his ugly side. Sabrina calls Gordie on the phone. Gordie, who clearly asks her, isn't that the hard competition? And isn't it super short notice to do it on Saturday? And then he hangs up on her when he hears that the competition is Saturday morning. In what world would Gordie have not already been part of this team? We acknowledge he still exists, but he's for some reason not on this Brainbusters team.
Initially, my thought is also, sorry, Gordie, but what plans would he already have on a Saturday? Like, his Saturdays are free. Let's be real. My explaining away of all of this, and it's not that I like it.
All right, give it to me.
But he basically has detention for life, and I could see Mr. Kraft being like, you're out of all clubs. Like, your life is detention. It's a week, and it's a shitty way to send him off, but it is a explanation.
My issue with that is that Mr. Kraft clearly wants to win this competition more than literally anything. And so he would have absolutely excused Gordie or been like, you can work off some of your detention by being part of this team, if it would have gotten him that trophy.
Well, Mr. Kraft has the memory of the writers in forgetting things.
Literally two episodes. 2 episodes. He's not hanging out with Valerie because Valerie's going to go be on the Brainbusters. So apparently that relationship fizzled. Shake it off. Shake it off. Keep going.
Anyways, justice for Gordie.
Anyway, so she says she's called everyone on the honor roll in the science club and that wears glasses. Hilda comes by on a forklift, and I didn't notice this the first time I watched it, but there's a cup of tea on the pallet on the forklift, and Sabrina takes it off. So that's how Hilda was bringing Sabrina her tea.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice. I was just like, oh, Sabrina had a cup of tea on the table. And then when I was watching it, I was like, oh no, it's on the forklift. Hilda can't help because she has to go flip the mattresses.
Which isn't a bad idea for a forklift, like the purple brand mattresses and the other super heavy ones. Hilda's pretty genius.
Mine's a type of mattress where you don't flip it, you just rotate it. Because there's something on the top that you don't flip. So I just have to like drag it every November and May. And I get a bit of a workout with it. The next day at school, both Harvey and Valerie refuse to join the team. Sabrina tells Valerie she has to do it since this is partially her fault, and Harvey has to do it because he's her boyfriend.
Valerie says, I know, but I freeze under pressure. I get dizzy. I sweat profusely and I babble incoherently, much like I'm doing now. Harvey says, sure you say that now, to being her boyfriend. And then says, wait till they ask me a question I don't know. Then all of a sudden it's, who brought that dumb guy?
You want an array of knowledges on a team like this. So Harvey could definitely handle a lot of sports and maybe mechanically minded questions.
Yeah, car mats, pest control,
mailboxes.
Oh yeah, the mailbox fascination.
Sabrina begs some more and they relent. Valerie points out they need one more team member. We flip to Sabrina asking Libby, who is in the midst of saying no, when Mr. Kraft walks up. Sabrina tells him Libby just graciously volunteered to join the Brainbusters, but she's not sure if it's a good idea. Libby stammers, but Mr. Kraft says it's a great idea, and Libby is on the team. Sabrina makes a show of yelling how Libby got her way again before cackling and walking away. Zelda comes into the kitchen with a now flattened mailbox courtesy of Mr. Tobias after he got Zelda's letter. She zaps it back into shape, and Salem threatens to throw water balloons at his house.
Well, I have 2 words for Mr. Tobias. Water balloons. Aimed at his house, on the hour, every hour. I realize that's more than 2 words.
Zelda refuses to stoop to that level. Sabrina comes in asking for a spell to help Harvey, Valerie, and Libby become smarter, but Zelda reminds her those spells are illegal. There is a spell to help people reach their full potential that can even be used on mortals, but she can only cast that if she has her witch's license.
Sabrina says, but I can't get my stupid license until I figure out this stupid family secret, and stomps up the stairs. And boy, am I ready to stomp up a set of stairs like Sabrina in angst about this family secret.
Wait till I reveal to you where the clue goes on the board at the end of the episode.
Deep breaths. Also, when Zelda mentions that the spell can be used on mortals, Salem pipes in with witness Mark McGuire. Mark McGuire was an MLB first baseman who, over 16 seasons from 1986 to 2001, played for the Oakland A's and St. Louis Cardinals. At different points in his career, he led the MLB on bases on balls, runs batted in, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and home runs. When he began his career with the A's in 1986, he didn't get a hit until his 3rd game. During the season, he had 3 home runs and had a low batting average of .189. Then in 1987, he suddenly had 4 home runs in April, 15 in May, 9 in June. That season, he had 49 home runs overall, 118 runs batted in, and a .351 batting average. To which I say, magic spell? Interesting. But in 2010, he did admit he used performance-enhancing drugs for a large portion of his career. Drugs equal magic. Magic equals drugs.
What's really funny is he actually tested positive in 1998 before this episode came out. And I wonder if that was a nod to his dirty test. I was like, yep, I remember when all of this went down. I remember when he was at the top of his game and he was the hot stuff. And then all of a sudden, it all started falling down.
I thought you weren't baseball folk.
Mark McGuire was so huge that it transcended him and Sammy Sosa at the same time were like the 2 hot ones. Like I remember Mark McGuire going on like Jay Leno or David Letterman or something like that. And yeah, he was really like his career was huge. Never watched a baseball game. He played it. I will say I did watch a baseball something last week. And I was kind of like, you know what? Thank you, YouTube TV, for recommending this to me because this is up my alley. I watched a Savannah Bananas game.
Oh, they're coming to Utah, but it was sold out like the day they posted tickets a year ago.
I'm sure. So I watched them play against some coconuts. And it was so fast paced, which is my issue with baseball, is that it takes too long. So I was like, this I could get into. I enjoy this. Did not understand most of the rules, but I enjoyed it. And all I could think of while I was watching this, I'm like, we are not baseball folk. Like, now maybe I am? I'm a banana ball folk. Salem is spying on the neighbor with opera glasses.
I don't believe it. Tobias is spying on us with a telescope. Some people have no moral compass.
Sabrina is studying her magic book, looking for something to help her solve the family secret. She asks Salem for help.
Oh, Sabrina, do you know what you could do for me? Order this water balloon catapult from Abercrombie and Witch.
I did like that pun. That one was good. Isn't there a distant relative no one talks about, like a black sheep? He tells her about Aunt Dorma.
Dorma? I've never heard of her. Salem says, hence the secret part. Then, yes, Tobias in the paper just headed into the loo. That should give me enough time to TP his house.
Sabrina decides to call Aunt Dorma on her crystal ball. Aunt Dorma answers, upset at having been woken up. Sabrina apologizes and asks her about the family secret. Dorma starts to threaten her, so Sabrina quickly says it's a wrong number and hangs up.
Says, well, I really hope her crystal ball doesn't have star 69.
Do you know what star 69 is?
I do know what star 69 is. It's the reverse call thingy.
Yes. Yeah. Does it still work? Is it still a thing?
I don't know.
Mostly obsolete, but can still be used on some networks.
Interesting.
Well, thank you for the slang meaning there, Google. That is not what I was asking about.
I was going to say, I think in this day and age, you can't have a star 69.
You could also use star 67, I think.
67?
Oh, no, 67 was for, oh gosh. I think 6'7" was for blocking your number from caller IDs.
6'7", 6'9", amazing. The youth and the numbers.
Get Low just started playing in my head. Sabrina joins Hilda and Zelda in the kitchen and asks if the family secret is about Aunt Dorma. They tell her absolutely not and not to contact her. She sleeps for 10 years at a time.
Little linguistics, now that we're mentioning Dorma a lot. The name Dorma originates from the Spanish word dormir, which translates to sleep in several of the Romance languages and English.
Once Zelda woke Aunt Dorma up and she turned her into a porch swing. They make Sabrina promise not to call her. She nervously promises. Mr. Kraft is quizzing the new Brainbusters team.
He asks, who was the first woman to be elected to both the House and the Senate? Answer, Margaret Chase Smith.
I don't know who that is.
Same. I feel like I should.
That's your job on this podcast. Why are you here?
We could be here for like 3 hours with all the references in this episode.
I want you to Google search her and tell me the name of the town in Maine she was from. Tell me how you're going to pronounce that, because I have no clue. And then we're going to offend everybody in Maine.
Skowhegan is where she was born.
You are right. I was going to say Skowhegan.
I've watched enough Murder, She Wrote to understand some of those Maine pronunciations, I think.
She was a Republican from Maine.
She was among the first to criticize the tactics of Joseph McCarthy.
Good for her.
In her 1950 speech, Declaration of Conscience, which is quite the title.
She was also the first woman to be placed in nomination for the U.S. presidency at a major party's convention.
She served as the editor of the Skowhegan Business and Professional Women's Club magazine called The Pine Cone.
Pine Cone. Oh, she also became the first woman in Congress, to break the sound barrier as a passenger in an F-100 Super Sabre, highlighted by Air Force Major Clyde Good.
Supported FDR's New Deal legislation. She started the long campaign to have the rose dedicated the official flower of the United States, which Congress eventually approved in 1987. She defended every American's right to criticize, right to hold unpopular beliefs, right to protest, and the right of independent thought.
I think how many people are out there that impacted our world that I just have no idea they even existed.
While acknowledging her desire for Republicans' political success, she said, I don't want to see the Republican Party ride to political victory on the 4 horsemen of calamity: fear, ignorance, bigotry, and smear.
And then ended her speech with the warning, it is high time that we all stop being tools and victims of totalitarian techniques. Techniques that, if continued here unchecked, will surely end what we have come to cherish as the American way of life.
I would love to see her on the floor right now.
Yeah.
We need this speech right now.
I mean, just get somebody to print off the speech and read it word for word. Don't even need to rewrite it. Don't even need AI. Sabrina is the only one able to answer questions, though. The other 3 struggle. Mr. Kraft threatens Sabrina with detention. She promises they'll be fine after an all-night cram session at her house. The camera pans across the 3. Libby checking her makeup, Valerie biting her nails, and Harvey awkwardly eating a banana in a way that seems like he's almost afraid he's going to get in trouble for eating a banana. Very strange. Sabrina comes home and yells out that she's having people over to study, but quickly trips over a passed out Hilda in the hallway. Sabrina sees a bouquet of poppies with a note to her attached. They're from Aunt Dorma. Sabrina takes the poppies into the kitchen. Zelda sees them and immediately passes out. Salem tells Sabrina that other realm poppies are lethal to Spellmans, which sure seems like a family secret to me.
Sure does. Seems like also an important one, similar to pancakes, maybe.
Yeah, I was like, those are 2 things that are not the family secret, but are sure life or death things for them. Sabrina admits to waking Aunt Dorma up and drags Zelda to the living room.
Sabrina says, yes, I woke her up. Now help me get Aunt Zelda to the couch. Salem says, sure, I'll grab her shoe.
Which also why she doesn't just zap her into the living room. Or like levitate. Wasn't one of the first things she learned was how to levitate stuff? When Sabrina reaches the living room, it is covered in poppies. She tries to zap them away, but more poppies just come out of her finger. She realizes Dorma put a spell on her finger and freaks out about what to do. Just then, the doorbell rings. Harvey, Libby, and Valerie have arrived to study. Sabrina cracks the door open as Libby asks to let them in. It's honestly so brave of Libby to go back to that house where terrible things happen to her every single time.
Libby says, do you mind? We're supposed to be studying, not standing out here on your doormat. Which, by the way, feels cheap.
Sabrina tells them to go around the back because the front door is stuck. Salem is on the phone with Tobias, threatening him.
You want a war, Tobias? You got one. Just put your head between your legs and kiss your sweet.
Sabrina hangs up the phone.
Hey, I don't hang up the phone on you when you're threatening complete strangers.
I'm so sorry. This just reminded me. So I've been annoying on Threads. And there's a thing going around like with companies being like, this is who's running this account. And like Noodles and Company did it. And it was just a picture of a macaroni noodle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did it for us. And it's a picture from one of the times Salem is on the computer on the internet. And Sabrina comes by and she's like, you're just pretending to be a woman. And Salem says, I like the attention. And so that was mine for this is who's behind this account.
Amazing.
And then there was another one. Somebody posted and they're like, is everybody on here just robots? And I responded, animatronic robot cat. The gif of Salem.
Amazing.
Follow us on Threads. I'm funny. It's way more unhinged than our Instagram is. Sabrina asks Salem about the poppies. She has to remove the poppies from the house or everyone affected by them will sleep for eternity while their minds and bodies slowly rot away. But Sabrina can't clean them up with magic. Salem tells her to keep Hilda and Zelda moving to delay the decaying process. She asks how to do that while yawning. She's half mortal, so she'll probably just be drowsy for a few hundred years and won't fall asleep. Just then, the others knock on the porch door.
Libby calls through the door. Sabrina, I can't believe I'm saying this. Let me into your house. Very brave, Libby.
So brave, Libby. Sabrina lets them in and she explains the poppies by blaming it on their greenhouse breaking. Sabrina is just so bad at lying. But also later on, so is Hilda. So maybe that's the family secret.
I think I guessed that one of the weeks.
I'm sure. Libby asks to go into the living room to get this over with. Sabrina tells them they can't because the pipes burst and it's flooded. She zaps and water leaks from under the door. She tells them to start studying in the kitchen while she goes to clean up the water.
I'll be back before you can say rampant mildew. Now, if I were Sabrina, I just had two friends and an enemy just show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of them have two functioning arms that can carry things. And it could be like, hey, someone pranked us. And there's all these flowers. Like, can you help me clean these up first? And then we'll get to studying.
Yeah.
The end.
I think she was trying to hide the fact that her aunts were passed out. But you could just be like, they're just alcoholics.
Remember that vineyard? They went hard.
Oh, boy. Sabrina goes into the living room and casts a spell to make the ants act out their dreams to keep them moving.
To keep my aunts from spending an eternity in bed, make them act out what's currently going through their heads.
Hilda starts dancing like she's at Studio 54. And I took over your job here. And I looked it up. It was a former nightclub. It is a Broadway theater in Midtown Manhattan. And it opened in 1927 and then renovated it into a Broadway house in 1998. They took over the old CBS Studio 52 in 1976 to turn it into a club. The owners were struggling to get a liquor license, so they hired somebody as the publicist. And to finance it, the operators of the Marlborough Gallery bought nearly all the stock in the corporation. At that time, the gallery's owner, Frank Lloyd, had just been ordered to pay $9 million to artist Mark Rothko's estate in the Rothko case, which was a legal dispute between the daughter, Kate Rothko, and the gallery directors. And it was a case filled with greed, abuses of power, and conspiracy.
Whoa. They have quite the patron list, though. David Bowie, Cher, Capote, Faye Dunaway, Bette Midler, Freddie Mercury, Valentino, Sylvester Stallone, Elizabeth Taylor, Diana Ross, Al Pacino, Aretha Kitt. Yeah, that's quite the patronage. Only part of them.
Zelda is pretending to swim across the English Channel.
Sabrina says, this is what they dream of. It's a wonder I turned out normal at all.
Sabrina yawns and sinks into a chair, wondering what she was doing. She suddenly remembers and is back up. Sabrina goes into the kitchen where Valerie asks for her help, but Sabrina tells them to study more and talk less. Salem is launching water balloons at Mr. Tobias's windows.
Ooh, stained glass windows. Expensive.
Sabrina comes in to ask why he's not helping. Sabrina grabs her magic book to look for something about getting rid of poppies. She slowly lowers her head down and starts to fall asleep on the book when Salem hits her with a water balloon to wake her up. Sabrina finds a fast poppy removal service.
While flipping through the magic book, she passes Pod People, Humor of. And here we have another aliens connection, because episode 303 of Mystery Science Theater 3000, titled Pod People, is considered one of the funniest episodes of MST3K. In that episode, they watched the 1983 Spanish film Extraterrestrial Visitors. The film was intended to be a straight horror film about an evil alien on a murderous rampage. However, the film's American producers wanted to cash in on the success of E.T. and made the film feature a little boy and a cute alien called Trumpy.
No.
Yeah. Very potato looking Trumpy.
Okay.
A plot summary I found is a young boy befriends a baby alien named Trumpy after a meteor crashes. As the creature's mother goes on a rampage, killing local hunters, a vacationing family, and a touring rock band become trapped in a horror-filled cabin.
Cool. Didn't Curtis say a bunch of the writers had worked on Mystery Science 3000? So clearly this is their insert in there. I don't know if I want to watch it. I kind of want to, but I kind of don't want to watch this episode. Have you seen it?
No, but it's on my list now.
Sabrina is standing in the living room that is now also filled with goats eating the poppies. She asks the shepherd if they can eat faster, but they just came from a big job at the dump and are still pretty full. Just then, Mr. Kraft comes in to make sure they were studying, but feels like he walked into a Fellini film.
The start of Federico Fellini's IMDb biography is the women who both attracted and frightened him, and in Italy dominated in his youth by Mussolini and Pope Pius XII, inspired the dreams that Fellini started recording in his notebooks in the 1960s. Life and dreams were raw materials for his films.
Do you think that's code for he took drugs?
Drugs are magic.
Acid. I feel like that's code for acid. Life and dreams were raw material is code for he took acid. Hilda dances with a goat and compliments Mr. Warhol on his dancing. Zelda suddenly starts yelling about where her notes are. She has to give a lecture. Sabrina tries to explain her behavior as sudden dementia. Zelda continues to yell about her research, and Mr. Kraft attributes it to one of her experiments. Zelda then starts yelling about her missing pants. Mr. Kraft tells her she's working too hard and she needs to take care of herself. Sabrina drags Mr. Kraft out so they can get back to studying. On the front step, Mr. Kraft gets pelted with water balloons from Salem. How? First of all, where is Sabrina's room relative to the front door? I figured it was like on the side of the house. Front door's on the front, obviously. How is Salem angling water balloons from the second story down underneath him to the first floor doorway?
Well, if this catapult is from Abercrombie and Witch magic. Ta-da!
Fine. Mr. Kraft runs away. Harvey yells from the kitchen, asking if they can come out now, but Sabrina yells back that he'll ruin his shoes. The shepherd whistles and tells the goats to take their union break. Sabrina stares at him in disbelief, then says to get the goats out and she'll take care of the poppies herself. Sabrina goes back to the kitchen where the others are studying. They ask her about the strange noises and say it sounded like goats. She laughs at this, but then the shepherd very clearly says, "Come on, goats, time to go home." Sabrina asks how the studying is going. They say it's miserable, but she assures them they are smart and have books. They'll be fine. Valerie is disappointed she's not going to help them. Sabrina says she has more work to do, like mopping. She exits through the porch door.
Libby says, "I despise this house."
For good reason. Sabrina drives the forklift through the front door, and we get a cleanup montage.
Sabrina says, "I can't believe this. I'm drowsy and I'm operating heavy machinery."
The montage is supposed to be set to "It's All Been Done" by Bare Naked Ladies, but we don't get that audio at all. Sabrina drives the forklift to clean up the poppies while yawning, dumps the poppies on a dancing Hilda, cleans up poppies in the kitchen with a wheelbarrow while Valerie, Harvey, and Libby watch, shovels poppies into a garbage can while a dreaming Zelda tosses them back on the floor. Sabrina grabs another cup of coffee while the other three watch. She places a bouquet of poppies on Salem's trebuchet, but they get flung right back into the window. The house is clean. Sabrina has beat Aunt Dorma. Suddenly, the house is filled with poppies again. Sabrina laughs hysterically. She stayed up all night, and the poppies are back. Valerie, Libby, and Harvey come out to find Sabrina laughing. Sabrina asks if Libby is ticklish and tries tickling her. Harvey blames it on exhaustion from cleaning up all night.
Libby says, "Well, she didn't do a very good job. It still smells like mildew."
Not to mention the thousands of poppies that are still everywhere. Also, did the poppies reappear in the kitchen? Did the other three notice that? Valerie says she can't go to the competition like this. Sabrina continues to laugh as they guide her out the door, hoping she'll perk up on the ride to school. Valerie asks Libby to grab Sabrina's coat. Libby opens the coat closet to find Hilda and Zelda dancing. For some reason, she screams and slams the door. It wasn't disturbing. It was weird. It wasn't scary.
I mean, given her house trauma.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Kraft welcomes everyone to the competition, which it feels like a conflict of interest that the principal of one of the schools is running the competition. But okay.
Vice principal.
Fair vice principal. He has no real power. Sabrina cheers loudly, then slams the buzzer and starts yelling out random answers.
1812, Rogers and Hart, to get to the other side.
I don't know who Rogers and Hart are. Do you know? They were American Songwriting Partnership. Many of their songs are classics of the Great American Songbook. Which of these do I know?
Blue Moon, Manhattan, My Funny Valentine, This Can't Be Love.
Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. I don't know that one, but that's a fun title.
You don't know Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered?
No.
Hold up.
I don't listen to 40s music frequently. Oh, it's from a musical. Pal Joey.
That's like a classic of that time. Like,
apparently Rod Stewart also did it as a duet with Cher.
So go listen to that version as long as you listen to a version, because it's a classic.
Okay. Gosh. So uncultured.
Need to go back further than the 90s sometimes, Laura.
I go to the 70s occasionally. Mr. Kraft goes to the Westbridge table to ask what's going on. Valerie blames it on staying up all night. Mr. Kraft tells them to keep Sabrina quiet. The competition is underway. Mr. Kraft asks the Westbridge team about Newton's third law of motion. Sabrina hits the buzzer, admits she doesn't know, then passes out. Later, Mr. Kraft asks about the capital of Madagascar. Sabrina suddenly wakes up, hits the buzzer, and yells snow. She realizes snow will get rid of poppies. She casts a spell to send snow to her house.
Why didn't I think of it before? It's like the Wizard of Oz. To save my ants from terrible rot, send snow to my house and make sure it's a lot. And snow actually helps germinate poppies through the process of cold stratification, so there could be twice as many poppies in X amount of time. Revenge of the Poppies in like season 4, because they've all germinated and come back.
Hilda is still dancing while Zelda, I think, is steering a ship. Snow starts falling and they suddenly wake up. They look around in confusion. Westbridge is down 50-0. Their next question is about the highest peak in North America. They realize it's up to them now that Sabrina is asleep.
Libby says, great, I guess it's up to us now that Freak Van Winkle's out cold.
I love Libby. Harvey encourages Valerie to answer it. She presses the buzzer and guesses Mount McKinley. That's correct. The team is re-energized, except Sabrina, who is still asleep. We had kind of a montage. I wasn't sure what to call this. A series of clips. Scenes keep flipping as Westbridge continues to answer questions correctly. The last question, and the score is tied 99-99, which I don't understand how we got to that score, given that each question is worth 10 points. How do you end up with a score that ends in 9?
The writers kind of forgot the previous scene.
They're on out. Mr. Kraft gives Westbridge the last question to win the game. Sabrina wakes up and says she knows it, but Harvey covers her mouth and buzzes in, answering America correctly to the question, who produces the most soybeans? I don't know if that's still true. I was going to look it up, but I forgot. Everyone celebrates Westbridge's win.
Harvey says, I can't believe it. Studying actually works.
Harvey apologizes to Sabrina and asks what she was going to say. She leans in and tries to kiss him before passing out again. Mr. Kraft grabs the trophy and comes by the table to celebrate his eventual promotion to principal. He leaves with the trophy. Libby immediately chases after him, refusing to give up a trophy. Harvey carries Sabrina into her house with Libby and Valerie. The aunts are shoveling snow and ask if Sabrina is okay. Harvey says she's just exhausted and lays her on the couch.
Valerie says, what a night between helping us study in the flood in your living room, which is now covered in snow? To which Hilda says, I got a toboggan for my birthday and I couldn't wait to try it. Libby says, freak begets freak.
They ask the aunts to tell her they won when she wakes up. Valerie says the trophy really belongs to Sabrina since she convinced them to study. Valerie wrestles the trophy out of Libby's arms and lays it next to Sabrina. They leave. Later, although unclear how much later, it does not look like much later, a policeman knocks on the door looking for Zelda. She's under arrest for making threats against the neighbor and breaking his windows with water balloons. Something about this whole scene is very weird to me and felt very, tacked on last minute. Some of the shots were weird. Both Beth and Caroline have shots that's just front on their face where they have to look shocked. And it's so weirdly over-exaggerated. I feel like they just had separate shots for them where they're just pretend like you just heard something shocking. And they just randomly pulled out shocked faces that didn't really weren't part of the scene. Something was weird about this. Anyway, so Zelda's under arrest. She says she's been asleep for the last 12 hours, but he doesn't buy it and hauls her out. She says someone will regret this. Salem tells Hilda that Zelda was talking to her. In the end tag, Zelda tells Salem to get back to scrubbing toilets.
He says, please don't make me scrub any more toilets. I keep falling in. How many bathrooms do they have? Or is Zelda creating more bathrooms since they just add on rooms at whim out of spite to just make him keep cleaning?
That was going to be my suggestion, is they just keep zapping in new bathrooms. But then they're not dirty if they're newly zapped in. Why are their toilets so dirty? I don't know. Hilda comes down the stairs with a black sheep. It's Aunt Dorma. She's come to apologize and thanks Sabrina for waking her up. She left her oven on, and the house would have caught on fire if she didn't wake up. 2 questions from this statement. What use would an other realm sheep witch have with an oven?
To bake cheese puffs.
Why are we not zapping things in?
She has hooves, not fingers.
You can't tell me she has hooves, not fingers. What? So she has an oven. She's a sheep witch. Second question. What crimes do you commit to be turned into a sheep?
Maybe she just likes being a sheep.
I have one. Are you ready for the worst answer?
Yes.
She committed assault and battery. To say she's sorry, they're getting a lifetime supply of mittens. Sabrina also asks for a clue to the family secret. Aunt Dorma complies and summons birds. So many birds. Sabrina is upset at the prospect of having to clean up after them, but then realizes she can use Salem. Salem sobs. The end. So what's your new title, Sky?
A bad time.
We missed out on so many sheep puns by not revealing the sheep thing earlier. Man. All right, now's the time, your favorite time. What's the family secret, Sky? And it's not that poppies will kill them.
Is that really where the birds go, or are you just
I didn't know you were looking at it already. So the birds are one word. M plus fire is its own word. Heart minus L is its own word. Yeah.
Whoa. Did the board show that there was a word before M plus fire?
There was a space.
I thought that was just dramatic spacing. I have not mentally prepared myself for a word before M plus fire. I had figured that since there is not an E in birds, it could not be at the end with minus E. So I was prepared for birds to go after the Spellman or before Robert E. Lee. So basically right next to each other. The birds of Robert E. Lee have a snake.
You're assuming the clue is birds.
Sabrina literally says birds, and no one corrects her.
Because they can't help her. She has to do it on her own.
I find myself questioning my sanity quite a lot because of this. Like I already do in life. And then there's this family secret, which is just literally driving me loony. And it's like, am I a smart, educated person? I don't know, because this is insane. Like, the words bee plus horn became born, so you're just swapping out H, but then whip transforms all the letters to with. Like, there is no pattern of the words changing. Love becomes of, like...
Wait until you figure out what the snake one is.
Like, there's no even consistency to how we're mutilating these words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The worst clues are the bird one and the snake one, I think, are the worst ones.
I'm going as crazy and twitchy as Sabrina is in half these episodes. Which I guess I get, because she's also trying to solve the family secret. Mm-hmm. It's not a good time. We're not doing well over here, is the moral of the story. And so the family secret is... To be a witch, you have to be insane. And the way to become insane is to have to solve this family secret that has no sense or logic to it. And so the family secret is we are torturing you so that you can become a witch. Congratulations. Gold star. You did it.
With Robert E. Lee.
With Robert E. Lee's pet snake, who's born with a negative E.
I think you'll be upset about the birds and about the snake, but I think the other two that go with Robert E. Lee, I think you're going to hate what that clue ends up being the most. We also can't forget the clue, we all have good and bad parts.
We have good and bad parts because we're literally insane.
We've literally fractured our minds. The next episode is season 3, episode 20, Sabrina's pen pal. What do you think this one's about, Sky?
Sabrina has a pen pal, but it's not just any pen pal. It's an other realm pen pal.
Okay.
Who Sabrina's like, oh, this pen pal's so cool. We're best friends. This person's like rad or diggity or whatever you say in the 90s there.
Diggity.
Diggity. Turns out The pen pal is Salem, pretending to be an other realm teenager.
I was really excited because I thought you were going to get it. So, no, the pen pal ends up being unexpected, but that's all I'll say. Okay, well, maybe this is the one we title Oops, All Tangents.
Actually, I think probably.
Well, please like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram and Threads at somethingwitchypod. And strongly recommend you do. I started dropping hints about the Curtis episode on Threads a day or two before.
Did anyone get
I posted anything? No. People were just like, ooh, what is it?
Intrigue.
They weren't strong hints. They weren't good hints. They were not as bad as the family secret hints. They were just like, something big is coming. Until next time.
Stay meowgical.